Octopath Traveler is a game I just could not get into. When I got my Switch in 2019, it was one of the games I absolutely needed to get. My excitement for Octopath Traveler was almost as much as my excitement for Zelda Breath of the Wild, as it was an RPG from Square Enix that seemed to be harkening back to the glory days of the 16-bit era. And I started playing it, and I picked a character purely at random for who I would do first. That turned out to be Therion the Thief, and I liked the way his story started. I liked having the ability to pickpocket random NPCs. I liked his motivation of wanting to get that shackle off so he could avoid shame. But then his prologue ended, and now you have to go about the world and find another character to recruit. And I went and got Ophelia because she was a cleric, and having a healer is always useful in an RPG. And that is where my disconnect began to happen with this game. Because I did not care at all about her story. It did not grab my interest at all. I still wanted her for her function within a party, but her actual storyline was doing absolutely nothing for me. And that's kind of what led me to just stop playing, was that I'd recruit a character, and then their story would not be interesting to me. And I'd notice you could just skip their prologue and just recruit the character. But that didn't sit right with me either, because isn't the whole point all of these stories intertwining? But that's the problem. Of the 8 different characters here, I only cared about the story for maybe 2 of them, and whenever I had to interact with the stories of the other 6, I was just like, ugh, can we please just get this over with so I can get back to the parts I'm actually interested in? And this led me to just take it out of my Switch, and it never went back in. But in fairness, sometimes it's just not the right time for you in a particular game. So a couple years go by, and then one day I'm looking at the Xbox store and I see Octopath Traveler is only $5. And I think to myself, well, I could give that game another chance. And it's much easier to get footage from an Xbox than from a Switch. So I go ahead and do it, because honestly, what else was I gonna do with that $5? And I start the game anew, again starting with Therion, because I do remember being quite interested in the story. But ultimately the same thing happened again, and I noticed other things that just sort of annoyed me. This time around the combat was really rubbing me wrong. Like every time you encounter a new enemy, you have to just go through every damage type you have to find out what it's weak to. And before too long, I found myself thinking that there were other games I'd rather be playing. And on paper, I should love this game. I am an RPG guy, especially 16 and 32-bit RPGs. And this game makes a lot of callbacks to those glory days. But something about the execution is just not hitting me right. So I think I just need to accept and come to terms with the fact I'm never playing through all of Octopath Traveler. Please do subscribe, comment, like, and tell your friends.
Coming.